I'm drawing 359. You guys all have access to the PDF. I'm choosing to go about this using a center point rectangle, and everything could be drawn in one sketch. I'm going to do this in multiple. So that center rectangle, the left to right is 4 1/4, so 4.25, and then the height is 2 7/8, so 2 plus 7 divided by 8, or type in the 2.875. And now this would have fillets. I'll apply them in a minute. And then there's another larger rectangle. This one, you're not provided with that left to right measurement, so you do in fact have to figure it out. So I'm going to take these two measurements, these 2.5, 2.5, add them up to 5, and then figure out what my radius of this fillet is, which is 1/2. So I'm adding in 1/2 on this side and 1/2 on this side. So it's a total of 6 for that rectangle. And then the height of it is 4 plus the radius plus the radius. So it's 6 by 5. So I drew this one, and I'm going to type in 6 and 5. And I could apply the fillets in 2D or 3D just to show you guys the two different techniques. I will actually do both 2D and 3D. So these ones, I'm going to select all of them, and then left click. Now I could type in my dimension, which is a dimension of 1/4 of an inch on the outside. So 1 divided by 4, or 0.25. Like I said, I'm going to do 3D fillet next. So now I'll extrude. No thickness is provided, so I'm just going to go with 1 inch. My fillets on the outside, I could use this fillet tool. I could also do the interior ones as fillet. So I'm going to select all 4. And type in my radius of 1/2 of an inch. If you select the wrong ones, just delete what you don't need. All right, so now I'm going to build on right off the top. So right click, view normal to sketch plane. If you have to rotate, just rotate it around. Starting with a construction line, snapping to the midpoints. This will help me create those constraints that I need. And I'm going to draw now a circle, making sure to snap to that horizontal. I have the same thing on the opposite side. I probably could have used the slot tool as well, but that would require more trimming. So I'll dimension one of these after the fact. What I want to do now is just draw a line from the top quadrant over. And then I need to do the same thing for the bottom, but you need to include a line connecting these two horizontals together. Otherwise, you won't have that profile. So I'm drawing my line here, and now I can trim. I don't need these parts of the arcs. If you turn on Show Constraints, all of this should be visible, and now we need some dimensions. I typed D to bring up the dimension tool here. This is 0.5. This line right here, 0.5. Circle in the center, 0.5. I could do the same thing on this side, or I can mirror it. I'm choosing to mirror, so I'm creating a vertical construction line. It goes red because I didn't need a dimension on it. It was just over defining. Now I'm using mirror. Now keep in mind, you could do this in 3D as well, or as a feature. So you select your mirror line, select your entities. There we go. So now I'm choosing extrude. So I want to select both contours. This one's a new because it's going in the opposite direction, so I'm going to rotate it. It's still saying new. I need to choose add, or I'm going to end up creating multiple parts down here. Add, now it's still one part. The 3D fillet would work now. So I'm choosing fillet and selecting all of these edges and typing in 1/2. I'm going to press Shift 7 to go normal to. And the last thing I need to do now is add these 6 holes. I should be able to do all of this with just using constraints and 1 dimension. So I'm going to start a sketch here. I'm going to go normal to, select the circle tool and hover over this arc to get the wake up center mark and create that concentric. I'm going to type in 0.5. I'm doing this 1 time. The rest I'm just going to draw because I'll apply a constraint to them. So you have to hover over that edge. And now I need one that goes here and horizontal with the other. I do the same thing with this one. I'm using those wake up center marks. All right, everything needs a dimension. So what I'm going to do is, this is the only geometry I have. I could select all of these at once, go up to the top where my constraints are and add an equal constraint. And it'll make all of those equal to my 1 dimension. Saves me the time of not having to type 0.5 over and over. Now I extrude, remove, and I need to make sure to select each one if it doesn't pre-select all of them. So what I've been having you guys do with your sketches, you could do multiple sketches. You could draw all of this in 1 sketch and do it that way if you wanted, but this allows you to do 1 step at a time. We're just going through this additive process, a little bit at a time. I'm going to give you guys a moment to work while I post this one on Classroom for you.